What's up, everybody? This is John again with Texas ATS Customs, and I'm coming with another small video. And this is also going to be like the last video, real small, covering logos. When I've been asked to do a lot of skin requests, one thing that I've gotten asked with that was, "Can you make me a logo?" And I figure out this time I'm gonna cover it, show you what I do, where I go to get them. Some I make myself, some I get online, and I'm going to show you how I do it. That way you can do it yourself. Kind of like the whole teach a man to fish type deal. So, with that being said, let's not drag this out. Alright, now everybody knows this logo. That's just, all that is fonts. There's nothing difficult to this other than just the fact that it's fonts. This bottom part is a gradient, and everybody should know how to do a gradient at this point. It's up here. It's actually right here. Yeah, it is. And it's just a gradient. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because that's something for you to do in your time, is to figure out how the gradients are. And the little sparkles you see is actually just something you can go Google online. It's clip art. You can Google transparent sparkle clip art, just like that, and it'll come up. So that's a pretty good thing to do. This is a logo I made of me and some friends of mine, our VTC, and that's what that is. That's just basic fonts with a clip art of a road winding through it, colored red. That one is super easy, and yeah. And this I made for a friend of mine, and I'm going to show you here in a minute where I got this from and how I did it. That was some cheating involved in that. I'm man enough to admit that. The same thing. This one also was comes off of a website, and I'm gonna show y'all in a second. And the website will allow you to make it transparent. That's how this one is transparent. This one isn't because the truck was black. So, but I could have done it both ways. Once again, from a website, and you see how it gives the shadow and the gradient already applied to it. Same thing. I did the DLT numbers the same way as this one. Same thing as you can see from the website, but I think the font was changed. And yeah, and this one I did a long time ago, early on, for another friend of mine who's actually in that VTC here with me, helped founded it. Matter of fact, he's one of the co-founders. And I need to go back and redo that logo. As a matter of fact, this is one of my older ones. He was really impressed with it at the time, but like I said, that's when I first started. I could do a whole lot better now. And that was his, and I added just the transportation word. I'm trying to think that I do the gradient on the transportation. I ended up having to do that myself. That come off that same website that I'm going to show you here in a second. And this one also come off of a website that I made. Or yeah, this part was just font, the trucking word, but the Evans up there, that came from a website. That's all font, every bit of that. And this is just a gold nugget clip art. Yeah, that didn't come from any website. That was pieced together. This one I thought was pretty neat, and that's just a clip art of a truck. And I took a clip art of a cartoon donkey, basically an ass, and I called it hauling ass cartage. Thought it was pretty cool at the time. I still think it's kind of cool. And this one come off of a website. Well, the Huff did and the Heavy Haul did, and I really like the Heavy Haul because of the way it did a shadow in the background. And the white is just me applying pinstriping. Real simple stuff. This one also was made for a friend. That one was made for a friend too, by the way. And this one was also made for another fellow friend. But anyway, this one was made just font. But this one has a font and a background font behind it. And I believe the font on this one is called Carnivale Freak Show. And it's just a 2-layer font is all it is. So you got a top layer, and then I added a bottom layer. Which is all it does, is it creates a shadow. That's all it does. Keep it the same size and drag it under it and position it however you want it, depending on where the light would hit it is where your shadow would go. Real easy stuff. Not nothing too difficult. And yeah, that one actually turned out pretty cool for being simple. Sometimes I found that when doing skins, the most simplest skin, and we're talking a solid color truck, Not even a pinstripe, a solid color truck with a logo on it looks amazing. You get more likes on that. Go figure. This one is an actual trucking company that another friend of mine brought to my attention. He wanted it made, and the company, as far as I know, they're not in business no more. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they are. And I believe they were out of North Carolina. But the logo, I only had so much to go on, and all I had to go on was a picture of the office, the building. They had a logo on the outside of the building. I couldn't use it, so I ended up having to go as close as possible to it, and it actually turned out pretty cool. I found out what font it was. I can't remember that font now, and I just found a clip art of a horseshoe, but the black lines you see in the horseshoe, I had to actually do that. So really what this was is just a solid color of a horseshoe, or yeah, solid color, and all the little black lines I had to do to match that horseshoe in the logo. And the Express, I believe, I want to say it's the same font too. But anyway, so this shows you an example of a recreation of an actual existing logo, because you couldn't copy it. And we have this, and I'm a sucker for pin-up girls, and like the old World War II planes, like Memphis Belle and things like that. I think that's so cool. But anyway, you got your Peterbilt logo, and what you do is you take a transparent. You can Google this too, transparent cartoon pin-up girls, and they will come transparent, and that means you don't have to go and erase a bunch of stuff around her. And you can add her to your logos, add her to your trucks. You can have her leaning up against stuff. I just think it's pretty cool. It's a nice little touch. And y'all saw this one on the last video, if I'm not mistaken. It was the one with the sugar pine, and that one was really early on in. I can see where I made mistakes in this one, where I didn't erase the white in between well, you see all the white except for the doors. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of mistakes I made in this one. Yeah, but it looks cool. Yep, ever evolving. We all get better each time. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this is another one I did. This is pretty cool too. This one was around the same time as this one early on in, but I think it was made afterwards. And Reload Trucking 6-shooter. All I did was I took a clip art of a Smith & Wesson, and the skull. This was all clip art. The skull was clip art. Now the letters, I'm going to show you here in a minute how they're curved like that. I'll show you the website that I got it done, and the 6-shooter, that's all font. So yeah, and this is what it looked like on the actual truck. The truck is brown, and I didn't dig out the picture of the trucks, because naturally we'd be here a lot longer having to match all these logos to the actual trucks I made. But yeah, that turned out really good. Now this one was done recently. Matter of fact, I think this was done like in the last 2 months maybe. And I did this off of a website also for a person who requested it. Yeah, Richard Johnson Enterprises. That's a big one. Yeah, that looked pretty cool. And that was the color of the truck, was that blue. And now there's another one. This one was done from the website, or I take that back. The sunset word that you see was done from a website. The palm trees, the sun, all that stuff back here, the water, that was all a clip art. And you can Google that too. And the trucking, that's just regular font with what I showed you earlier, a 2-layer font with a shadowing behind it. And there it is, transparent, no color behind it. That was what the color of the truck was. This one was early on into, and I was just making up. I was going through this little deal where I was making fictitious VTCs just for the fun of it. Nobody was in it. I wasn't nobody part of none of that. It was just I kept cranking them out. Logos is really what it was. Fake companies. And yeah, and I come up with this, and that's just a clip art of a gear, and that's a piece of a clip art from a diamond plate and screwed, and that was font too, and I can't remember what that's called, but it's some kind of font with looks like iron and steel. And next we have this one, same thing. I used the clip art of a diamond plate and a logo. Now this is a very common logo. I've seen it quite a bit now, but this one was also early on in my skinning. Union Oilfield Supply. Yep. And I'll show you in a second the website where I was able to do the same thing with the curved font. that I did right here with the reload. And this one was, no, this was last year. And this one real quick and real easy. Font. This is a clip art of some wind. I did the gradient on the wind, and that's it. And that's what the color of the truck is. So that's what it looked like on the truck. And just ideas. That was when I was all part of that whole VTC thing. There's the example of the transparent pinup girl I was mentioning earlier. How you can see she's transparent, so you can actually have her leaning on anything. You could have her leaning on a truck, leaning on a logo, leaning on words, anything, and that's pretty cool. And that's all that. But now to show you how I was able to achieve stuff like this, the sunset, and the this, and this. Let me see. And this and this. Okay, there is a website you can go to. And this is the first website. It's called flamingtext.com. Right here. flamingtext.com. Okay. And this, as you can see, once you're on here, it's really easy. It's not hard to do. You just type in the name. As you can see, some of the stuff I've actually typed in and done before already, and put anything you want. Like, for example, and then click get started, and there you go. And it gives you examples, and I'm not going to go through all of them. Like I said, I don't want to draw it out too much. So what you do is you just take one of these logos, click it, and when you click it, you're given that same logo, but you're given different ways for it to be applied. So you take that, take the one you like, click it, and go to background, go to transparent. That means that you'll just have that. There you go. Go back to the text. Make it, it's pretty big, and it says premium, but it's free. And there it is. Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's certain things you can do. There you go. You can actually change the color of these things with the gradient tool, which is also pretty cool. Pretty powerful stuff for free. And it skips a lot of hard. It saves some time. And then you go to next, and you go to download, and there it is. There's your logo. Bring it up into your paint.net or Photoshop or whatever you use, and there it is, ready to be used and put on a truck. Pretty quick, pretty easy. Nothing else to it. Now the next website I want to show you is called Curve Text. That's it up here. It says TroyGraham.com, Curve Text. I'll put this and that other website link in the video description. And there's plenty more out there. There's a lot more out there, but it's up to you to go through them all and figure out which one works for you the best. This Curve Text one, real quick, as you can see, it's got a few fonts, enough to get what you need. So pick you a font that you like, and you type in your text. And then here's all your tools. You can see the letter spacing. See how it curves? Up and down. There you go. And you can, what does it say, arch size, and move left and right. Pretty cool. Anyway, and when you're done with this, what you're going to do is you're going to right click on it, and you're going to save the image the same way you would save same way you would save a picture. That's how you're able to. There's not like a download button or anything like that. Uh-oh. Yeah. And then you just drag it to your desktop just like that one. There's your logo. It's black. I think inside the website you can make it white, but you could also change that in game. But anyway, there's your There it is. Actually, the quickest way to change all those colors so you don't have to fight it would be like that. Go to invert colors. And yeah, there's nothing to it. It's really easy. A lot of this stuff, like I said, comes from a website or just comes from you piecing that together. Clip art. Clip art from Google. Best friend is Google. So that's going to cover this video. Hope it helped. And once again, use all these videos, piece them together, and come up with some really, truly amazing designs. And hope to see them out there. Y'all have a good one.